Well, I tell you what, I just had a doozy of a lesson, and I didn't see it coming. I knew there was a lesson in the situation, but this was not what I thought the lesson was. And because I think probably some of you are getting the same lesson, I'm going to share it with you. So over 2 months ago, I was able to get a good price on my car, my used car, because they're at a premium now, I guess. People don't want to pay the exorbitant prices for the new cars, so they're going for the used cars. Little do they know they are still exorbitant prices considering the markup, but I digress. And so I sold the car, was able to get my loan paid off, and had a few $1,000s to put on a used car. And I decided to do that rather than financing a fancier one because I'd been dealing with a very high car payment for a while, and I thought it would be nice to not have that. The day after, before even 24 hours had passed, I knew I had a major problem because there was no oil in the rig, and my rental driveway was a mess. I'm not going to tell you the whole story. I immediately started texting the salesman, though, and he ignored me for days. It turns out that oil leak problem had been noted on the pre-sale inspection, and it had not been disclosed to me. The salesman also had indicated that there had been regular servicings, and that turned out not to be the case. I was naive, perhaps, but I did know that I should ask that question, and then I did not receive the truth. I also said I wouldn't leave the lot with that rig with such high miles unless I had a very good warranty that would cover things that went wrong. I was told that the one I was purchasing had no cap to the amount of claims I could make on it. That turned out not to be the case either. So for over 2 months now, I've been trying to get things resolved. The oil leak problem was supposed to be fixed. Oh, but the parts have still not all been gathered. So I still have a mess in my driveway and a concern about that dripping oil in case it hits the engine, because there's also a gas smell, and I think the combination's probably not good. I'm really not feeling like dying a fiery death. Anyway, I've been trying to get them to take the rig back and credit me the amount so I can get a more reliable car. And there is one nice manager there that tells me he's been working for it. But I'm still sitting here with no update. I'm getting more and more pissed off because this stress isn't good for me. I have a condition that doesn't allow for me to deal very well with stress. And so I wrote up this thing I was going to text. And then, as I'm sitting here thinking, should I send it? I'm not sure. Am I being too pushy? Am I asking for too much? I get the input from my spiritual team that I've been pushed to this point to see how reluctant I am to ask to be made a priority. Now here's what I think some of you may be able to relate to. Because I have never been made a priority. Never. My little sister was the apple of my mother's eyes. I think that's how that expression goes. The apple of my eye. Yeah. So not a priority there. Before I got married, those men, no, not a priority. And then when I got married, it turned out that money was the priority rather than me. And so here I am wondering, should I send a text asking to be responded to and for some action to finally be taken? And I'm hesitating because I think I'm being too pushy to ask for my needs to be met. Are you recognizing this? Some of us have been told that our needs are not worthy of attention, that we just have to wait our turn, or maybe just go away. This was my lesson, and I can't tell you how much stress I've been through. Oh my God, my chest started to tighten up. My spiritual team was waiting for me to finally wake the fuck up. and realize I'm just as important as anyone else. Just because I've never been anyone's priority doesn't mean I wasn't worthy of being their priority. So in case you are going through something that's pushing you to the point you think you're going to explode, perhaps that's the lesson. Sure, explode, because holding it in isn't good. I've been trying to think, how can I release this? Because, I'm so angry about it. But maybe your lesson is you are worthy of having your needs attended to. You don't have to take second place, third place, 10th place, however you've been treated your whole life. It's okay for you to stand up and say, I am not fucking invisible, and my needs are important. Take care of them, or at least admit that you can't, and send me on my way. Don't just ignore me. This is a hard one for me, and I feel really kind of dumb that I didn't pick up on it. But we are dumb about our own stuff. People always are saying, but I have really good intuition, I don't understand, I can read other people, la 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 la. But when it comes to my own stuff, it's because you're not supposed to be good at it. Otherwise you'd avoid that lesson, right? We have to be dumb shits about our own stuff, because that sets us up to learn the lesson. And sometimes it takes over 2 months and a gazillion hours of worrying and crying and stressing out before you figure it out. But I finally did. We'll see if anything happens, because I did send the text. At Spirit's prompting, push the button, send it. If I can save you some anxiety, I want to, and that's why I share. And if it wasn't relevant, I'm sorry, but at least I gave you a cool rainbow filter to look at, right? You got this. You are not second best.